Hello. I'm hoping that everything works. We have the live stream. All right. Okay, so I'm attempting the no loot that I was inspired by Third Monkey to try out, and this is I think my second attempt at this. I I'm still trying to figure out more directly what the rule set for this is going to be. So right now it's going to be very loose, but it's going to tie very closely with the rule set that Third Monkey is using. So that the in short, there's not going to be any restrictions in terms of region lock. There's not going to be any restrictions in terms of any consumables. There's not going to be any restrictions in terms of the amount of companions I can bring to the camp. Like no restrictions. The only restriction, of course, is going to be no. Well, even respecs are going to be allowed. Everything is going to be allowed. Not barrelmancy. That's the probably the one thing that's not going to even be a possibility because I'm not going to be able to loot the stuff. So everything kind of ties neatly together in what I consider to be a pretty pure type of challenge run, and I'm not sure that I can do this at all. I'm just playing around with it, having fun, and seeing what's going to happen. Because I can bring companions to the camp and stuff, I am now currently wearing the Githyanki armor from Lae'zel. All of the stuff in my inventory are items that I got from bringing companions into my camp and taking their stuff and then leaving them in the camp. So that is the one kind of thing that I choose to go with outside of the rest of the stuff. The no looting to me means that I cannot pick up things from the ground, with the one exception that if it is has an orange border, and these are all baseline rules that I picked up from Third Monkey's rule set, which I am going to run with unless it's too hard or too easy or whatever. Orange bordered items, meaning that I can use Mind Flayer parasites for this challenge. Also, there will be illithid powers. Everything will be allowed. I just can't loot anything. So what this means, the way that I see it, is that the primary problem of trying to make this work is that you have a very limited resource pool. When you don't have any money, you cannot purchase unlimited camp supplies. When you cannot loot, you cannot pick up camp supplies from wherever. When you cannot loot, you cannot do your long rests. You don't have any gold to purchase any items. There are so many things that's going to be restricted. The only way you can really get items is by interacting with an item, well, with an NPC that gives you some kind of reward or item for doing something for them. You cannot pick up anything. And so right now I have the Amulet of Sylvanas, which that seems to be a mistake. This is not something that's possible to get. I must have clicked that by accident. But all of the rest of the stuff here is stuff that is available to you in in that situation. I even think the Scroll of Detect Thoughts comes with Shadowheart, if I remember correctly. This is from, I'm assuming, from Korga, from inside of the Grove. The Thieves' Tools are from what's his face, from Astarion. This one is from the NPC inside of the camp where you inspire the kids. So I mean, all of this stuff in the underwear obviously is from the companions. So there are so few items. Like even I don't even have a backpack that I can fit my items into, and I'm already in like loads of considerations. How am I going to deal with this? How am I going to deal with that? And all that is just it's in the winds. I have no idea how this is going to work. If you decide to try this out without allowing for even companions, that's going to put your total gold available to you at a much lower at a much lower count. Like I don't even know how much gold this is. This is 30 gold, right? 30 gold, and this is not the full sell value. And I don't have a lot of charisma as well, so that's a problem. Like there are so many things that's going to really make this a very, very difficult challenge. I decided to go with the druid because my assumption is that the druid is one of the least gear dependent classes in the game, and also it solves a lot of issues, solves a lot of problems, solves a problem with the hack here, for instance. You can pick that up much easier. I think I made a mistake with my stat point distribution. I think you want an uneven stat, probably, or maybe it's not that important as a druid. I'll have to find out. But there are so many things like with this rule set that's going to make this very difficult. I was also considering: do I want to go for level 2? Do I want to go for level 1 and then try to sweet talk a vendor, so that I have somebody to sell to at a higher value? Like, would I want to kind of sweet talk Damon by giving him a lot of stuff in the beginning? Do I prefer to just sell the stuff I have at whatever price? Like, how am I going to deal with all these things? Probably the bugbear in Moonrise Towers, who you can talk into just giving you a discount, is the better option here. Then only sell to that vendor for maximum gold, and then just accept that purchasing anything in Act 1 is not going to be a possibility, for instance. But like at this point, I have no idea how I'm going to deal with all those issues. So I'm just going to go ahead and play the game with that in mind, and then pay attention to my surroundings, and as much as possible try to make the right judgment call in a given situation. I think experience in this particular challenge is going to be a lot more valuable than in any other challenge, really. As you can tell, I have a lot of good berries, and that is because I decided to what the hell? What? Okay, fair enough. I guess that's one way to get my camp supply bags sacks to act as containers, but I think that's not going to be worth the trouble. And I'm not really into abusing glitches, so I'm not going to use it for anything. But I don't mind my good berries being in that bag there. And the shaft of the broken spear is never going to be completed either. So there's that. Yeah, so, and of course the Vivan toxin might prove valuable potentially. The gruel is great because that's like free action healing. I'm just going to hang on to that as well. And we do have camp supplies to get that, but we need to use that very carefully. The partial rests are going to be a lot more valuable. So where are we? Let's see. And Nettie tried to poison us. And so there's probably you want to get poisoned. No, wait, maybe you don't want to get poisoned. Because you need to use the antidote anyway, so that's probably redundant. Just need to set something up real quick. Oh. There we go. And I'll be streaming for a couple of hours, I think. Okay. Right. So probably at this point, I just want to get the experience point ball rolling, and I'm assuming that I'm going to be piggybacking off of spike growth. And if I am, yes, so we go and talk to the parents here. They're going to give us a reward that we can then sell as well. So everything that goes into the pool, the money pool, is going to be great, even if those are very, very small rewards. There is the level up. We're just going to take the level up. I think I'm not going to be bothering with any of the shenanigans, the reputation stuff. Whole person and spike growth. Misty step, mirror image. I'm not quite sure how I can optimize the silence. The blur is pretty good. Dark skin, whole person. Web and Misty Step. I'm pretty old school. I just want the mirror image and the Misty Step. I think that is where I get the most value. Pretty much. I don't know, maybe I can even exclude some of the other stuff, but I'm just going to go somewhere, probably goblins, and kill those with the spike growth. I'm assuming that's going to be the most effective. And as always, I'm going to save, since I'm not region locking, I'm just going to have some of the spots that has additional experience point, just save that for later. I actually don't really know how you're supposed to optimize the early game. You could always go for just all of the free XP where you just explore. That you just explore and you get experience from. Okay, my brain is not working. Goblin. Sasa is her name. All of these corpses, well, what can you even do interaction-wise with an item? Pick up, throw weapon. So throw weapon would be okay, so going here and throwing it would be fine. Okay, check. We can go into the inventories of things. We cannot pick up the gold. But in principle, I can cast the spell straight up from the body. As far as I know, that's... Right, let's go. But I mean, it is like possibly it does get relevant. For instance, I can drink a potion. I just can't put it in my inventory for later use. Seems to be the only thing here. So that means going through all of this stuff is not going to reveal anything to me. I mean, if I find an elixir in a container, I can drink it. I'm assuming. I don't know if I can even click these.
Thought you was busy with the foul bloods in Elson's tieflings. Wasn't no few goblin. Stupid thing to die for. Look.
Don't think you get any. Hey, critique. I'm assuming that things work as they're supposed to. I'm trying out something new. I just have a couple of hours to stream. I finished the will run. It ended in dishonor, so there's that. But I want to try something else now, and I'm trying Third Monkey's restrictive rule set, which is no loot. So that's a bit of a new way of playing it. I'm allowed to find, if I find a scroll, for instance, or a potion, I'm allowed to cast a spell from the scroll. But the only thing I'm not allowed to is to put things in my inventory. That's the best and most concise. Maybe I'm not using them entirely. I'm trying to. If I'm doing something wrong, then I want to change it. But I went through. I have a conversation with Third Monkey on Twitch where he told me about it, and I basically went in and tried to apply that. So if I overlooked something, then please do tell if you've been following his streams more than I have, because yeah, my time zone is completely different from his, so very rarely I'm able to follow anything that he's doing. You can pick up orange items. These are things that are the characters that the companions that I invited into the party, that they brought with them, so I can loot that stuff, and then orange items only. From chests and corpses. He doesn't do that. Oh, well, fine. Well, no harm done. No harm done. Well, the 1 hit point is fine. So no consumables from corpses. Okay, great. So no opening any kind of containers. That makes things a lot easier to remember. The easier for me, because I'm so bad at I'm so bad at remembering too many details. I just want it clean and simple. That's the way I operate. So if that's what he does, then that's what I'm going to do. So if it's on the ground, I can use it. If it's inside a corpse, I cannot use it. Easy peasy. Potions, okay. Yeah, and there are plenty of those examples that there's a potion that you can just drink. That's somewhere. That's easy to remember. And right now I'm just like, I'm not exploring everything, but I'm trying to remember where do we have any type of item that I can then use. I think, Trainer, I can point you in the direction of people who are more crazy than me if you're interested. This is, and welcome in, by the way. This is I think there are crazier people than me out there. Yeah, critique. I felt the same way. It's like I've been doing my own thing for so long that I've been extremely inconsistent over the past months. but I've been doing my own thing for so long, and I want to try something else. And this specific challenge, I feel like it feels like it communicates very well what it wants to do. Once you try it out for 5 minutes, you realize, oh wait, I have 0 gold pieces. I cannot purchase anything. And then everything comes together. You're like, okay, check, got it. So I really, really like this challenge. And I've been wanting to do it for a very long time. And since I parked the solo Warlock Will thing on YouTube, I parked that to just say, I don't want to do that right now. I just parked it. I just want to spend my time doing something else where I just explore the game really, instead of just trying to make something work. So now I'm just exploring the game with this stuff, and I'm kind of curious. So I think, and I decided that I want to see if I don't know if this is possible, if I can hold up on any kind of purchasing, like no gold, like no buying anything from any vendor. Well, I haven't done any respecs, and respecs are fine because they cost gold, and gold is the most precious resource, I'm assuming, in this challenge. So for that reason, I think respecs are fine. I have no restrictions, no limitations that I would normally have on myself. Just the only thing, well, no limitations. I can do whatever I want, except for looting, it seems. Like no looting corpses, no looting chests, apparently. And then looting quest items, obviously. Orange bordered items. Okay, so this is something that I in principle should be able to do right now, right? Assuming that the hyenas are going to go for me, I can spike growth at this location, and if they're not coded to walk around, they have to walk through. No pickpocket. So basically, no workarounds. Like, yeah, because the problem is always if you want to make some kind of restriction to your rules. Let's say you've been doing solo honor. Let's say you want to do that, and you have never tried solo honor. You want to go in there with 0 restrictions. You can do whatever you want. And then if you enjoy the game enough, you can then come back to that challenge, and then you can start to pour on the restrictions. Most people like to say, well, no barrels. Like no barrels, no explosive barrels. And then later on, I think a lot of people are going like, yeah, maybe the bombs, because you can put bombs in a bag, and then you can place the bag, and then you can make the bag explode for like 200 force damage, for instance. Then, you take some of those more easy things out of the equation. And then at some point you end up in a place where you have some baseline rules, and then you want to restrict yourself some more if you still think it's interesting. For me, I'm now going into this specific challenge, and I'm looking for the challenge because I know the game, I know the encounters, I know what I can and can't do. Like, if I'm playing it as safe as possible, I'm not going to go into any combat before level 5 approximate. Well, a little bit before level 5, but then at level 5, I'll be starting the combat of the first act, normally. The problem with this specific challenge is that you don't have any gold pieces. If I could pickpocket, that would be a workaround. Then that would, in principle, remove the restriction. So, for instance, if I pay Withers 200 gold to respec my character into something that's better in the following situation, right? Then I can just lock pickpocket. It's a free pickpocket. I can just take the gold back. Then that's not a challenge. Hello, Ginger. I just have a couple of hours with, I'm trying to take it easy at work, so putting in a little bit of gaming. So anyway, so no pickpocketing, of course. So anything that kind of negates the challenge is not allowed. You could, I guess that's a way you could kind of think about it. But one thing that this, apparently from what I heard from Third Monkey, one thing that he does allow for, which is the one thing that I'm bothered with currently, is that he does allow for the partial rests. Partial rests is a bit of a problem for me, because that's a free resource restoration. It restores 50% of your resources. You don't get all of your spell slots back. You don't get your, I don't think you get any short rests back. So that's it, but it does give you some spell slots back. I'm currently playing a druid. The druid is, I think, arguably the best class in the game, but at least one of the, in the early game, strongest all-round characters. There's nothing in the tool set for this character that doesn't, take care of any business. Our Nightbot is sending the wrong message. I'm not gonna change that right now. Yeah, critique. Partial rests is I don't know what partial. I don't think partial rests. Maybe Ginger, you're more of the tabletop buff here. Partial rests in the tabletop game. Does that restore any spell slots? There is no such thing as a partial rest, right? In tabletop, because it feels to me like it's a PG-3 thing. Okay. Yeah, in the game, that is what the partial rests do. It doesn't give you short rests, but it restores half of your spell slots. Up to half of your spell slots. Yes. You get exhausted. What does that mean? In tabletop, yes. Yeah, okay. Anywho, in BG3, a partial rest is going to restore up to half of your spell slots. For me, that would mean 2 level 1 spells, 1 level 2 spell, and that's enough. You just need 1 spike growth to make everything happen in this game. Right? The most ridiculous spell in the game. So what I'm considering... I don't think that I can stop the hyena. If I go in and activate the encounter, I think the hyena is going to run here. And then it's going to run up, alert the other guys. They're going to come down. If the spike growth maintains its position, probably I could still benefit a bit. But I think the bloated hyenas that's going to turn into gnolls, I think they're going to run through, and then I'll have to deal with as few resources as possible. With the hyenas. I think this is not the right time to do this. I could do this, but I don't want to. Right, so I'm going to head back now.
Out of sight, out of mind. Breathe deep and move. Have to keep going.
And the only real weapon that it seems like you have available to you in this particular challenge is, outside of glitch abuse, is, of course, levels. So experience seems to be by far... Wait, I wonder... I think actually that the Speak with Animals solves this interaction. Let's talk to Scratch. Pretty certain it solves it.
Keep moving, stranger. I told you to go.
Right, I have the druid persuasion. Okay. That's actually not too good. Okay, so I wonder what happens here.
These worlds crawl with monsters.
Let's try the other one.
Of them.
There we go. Yeah. So in tabletop, there are heavy disadvantages.
Of course he will. He calls me Scrap.
You know the creature.
No, I won't leave. If it...
Yeah. So in tabletop, there are heavy disadvantages to the partial resting, but in BG3, it seems like it's just a free resource. So that's one thing that I'm going to be tumbling a little bit with, is how I feel about that bit. So where do I go? If I go into the rocky crevice here, I think I spawned down by the owlbears, which I don't want to do. Yeah, I don't want to do that. No thanks.
Breathe quiet. Move with care. Wonder if the gods are watching me. On my way.
See you, Ginger. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for clearing up the differences between tabletop and BG3. Right, let's just, I'm just going to go my normal route here.
Strange silver glows marked on their flesh.
Why did I attempt a deception?
Stirs in
That was stupid. And what is my background? Guild artisan. Why, oh why? So I'm wondering if I don't need Lady Ethel for anything, right? I don't need the elixirs. So purchasing elixirs from Ethel is probably redundant. So already I can, in principle, go and deal with the red caps. Kinda. And at least get a lot of free XP. But let's just keep it a little bit simple here and head to the goblin camp first. Oh wait, do I want to do that? Because I haven't brought Lacel in yet. The question is if I want to go and get that done. Yeah, I need to do that anyway. That's free XP, so we need to go and do that before I do anything else. Yeah, I feel the same way, Ginger. I feel the exact same way. I want to come as close to the tabletop version as I possibly can. I know that's not easy, but that is also that's like the mindset that I apply when I think about the
Get
game.
rid of them. I know what grows inside you, and I know of a cure.
I know it's a video game, but I don't care.
You've but one chance.
Oh, Jesus. With a high initiative. Oh, then they gave her clothes. They gave her clothes. Alright, so anything that's a resource is something I'm not going to use. And I'm rolling with 16 dexterity. I think that was a decision I made as a general, probably a good stat to have.
No time for
Let's see.
mercy.
I'm assuming that most of the trouble that you're going to run into in any kind of new challenge is going to be very, very, very apparent within the first, I don't know, 5-6 hours of the game. I think that's when you're going to run into that problem. So in this case, it would be some kind of things that I underestimate, and then so what happens if I miss here? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We're just going to spend a couple of good berries. Those, after all, is one of the few resources that I do have available to me. I was actually considering that perhaps the Volo ring might be a good thing to go for. Okay, see, now already they've put me at a major disadvantage. Damis is pretty close to death, so let's see if we cannot nail him. So that gives me the same odds as my enchanted weapon. Yeah. Will disapproves. Great. So he's in camp and he's just in disapproval. Okay. And as anybody who've been doing any type of solo challenge run has found out, and if not already, then within the first couple of attempts or playthroughs, is that the RNG of the early game is your absolute biggest problem. Okay, I forgot to enchant. Never mind. Alright. So the RNG of all of those rolls can just make or break your run at any point in time. So, okay, so here's the first consideration. The Revivify scrolls. The Revivify scrolls are very, very expensive. And probably one of the most valuable commodities. If I bring back Lae'zel, there's going to be a bit of gold from her leather items, but not a lot, and she's only going to be worth how much, like 20 XP or something. So the question is, I think not. I think Lae'zel is just the first casualty of this game, plain and simple. It's not worth reviving her in terms of what I get back for gold, I think. Or maybe. If this scroll is going to be worth, I don't know, 30 gold in resale value. How big are the odds that the replacement gear... Oh, I can actually check that. I can at least look at the body, right? 30, 60 gold. So that... Okay, let's just revive that.
But my people possess Githyanki Pro. The cure I offer you a
Yeah, 20 gold. And then I take her stuff. And then she goes naked back to camp.
Shook. You as
Goodbye, baby. Okay. And please stop me if I'm doing something that that third monkey doesn't do, because I'm just going a little bit playing it a little bit by ear here, actually. The best thing about this way of playing the game is that you don't spend that much time looting things. It's a huge time sink. So from what I saw, Third Monkey do, he can destroy containers, and then he can read things on the ground. From what I saw, but he cannot cast scrolls from containers. That's the major thing. Okay.
What think you? Tell me, if you could see any you...
Okay. But since I'm playing a druid, I don't have access to the summon closet anyway. So for me, that's not going to be that important. I don't think having shovel for just that one summon is something I'm going to bother with. Right, so the scroll of Featherfall could be cast. Oh yeah, that's what he does. That's now I remember. So he, from what I could tell, what he does is he turns invisible. Third Monkey told me he uses the scroll of Featherfall, then turn bases the game, and then he dashes through the spider stuff and jumps into the Underdark. I think that's how he solves that. Getting into the Underdark, if I remember correctly. But let's see. I'm not at that stage yet, I think. And then I don't know how Third Monkey deals with the question of escaping battles, because otherwise I could go, for instance, in the Goblin camp and I could initiate combat there with them, and when we get to that point where something might escape my spike growth, how do I deal with it? Because the goblins are so scary. I can't. Well, I can. I guess I'm playing a wood elf, so I'm not going to be able to deal with the priestess god. She cannot cast a sleep spell on me, so I don't know if I can't get through the door to her sanctum, if I remember correctly, because I have the one thieves tools, and I don't think I'm going to be able to pass that check. Unless there's something I didn't account for.
The mark glows, but you feel nothing in response. Your illithid power is beyond reach until you rest.
Rest of her little bit. Nice to have her this across the mug. Ought to do it. Whatever calls you. Ha! Go on, mate. Enjoy the festivities.
What is the new gut meta?
Get yourself a bit of. Lads even captured some.
Anything of use?
Okay. But I don't know if I can actually. I don't know if I can throw her, because I don't know if I have enough strength. So that would require me to use a specific elixir for that. But we'll see when we get there. I don't know that it's that critical right at this juncture. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. The elixir there is definitely something I'm going to drink. And then probably you want it would be nice to have like 300 gold pieces. To get like 300 gold pieces for the challenge. But then I also need the inspirations, and then I could do the chicken race. But probably at this point I need gold, and I need inspiration points. So doing this right now is not meaningful, I think. But if I remember correctly, you can actually win gold there. And then I need to consider, is there an item that I actually want in the early game here?
But you feel nothing in response.
And then this is a bit of a shit show.
Your power is beyond reach until you rest.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm just going to hop back here, because I know from experience that I don't have my illithid potential yet, and also if I go in there and I fuck that up, they will be hostile. So that leaves. Let me just check. Yeah, I do very soonish need to commit to some kind of make some kind of decision on where to go, I guess. Probably all stuff like Flint and all of these things are probably well within reason. I'm just not used to doing it, which means that every time I attempt one of these things, it's going to be something where I need to take a chance basically in the early game here. All right. And I'm assuming that that third monkey has been through all of these considerations. Level 1 druid, level 1 sork, level 1 cleric. Okay. And then you respec. Okay. And then you have jump and you have feather fall. Okay, check, got it. Yeah. Yeah. Because then you've got the feather fall spell immediately. You don't need to need all kind of crazy workarounds to get to that situation. Level 7. Yeah. Oh, don't spoil me. Don't spoil me too much. Because like I feel a little bit like I'm trying the game for the first time here, in a sense, in that it's a whole different game for me right now. And so I I'm not handcuffing you, of course. If you have something to contribute, please do. But like, I can already feel that I don't want to know exactly how getting to level 7 is the easiest way to get there. I want to see if I cannot figure out some kind of logic to it also in the early game. But of course, I always value your contributions. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But like I'm because maybe you've gotten even further than third monkey and I, maybe you never know. So that's pretty that's a real possibility that you're already more experienced than we are, or I am at least, of course.
Stop this! Enough.
Okay. Check. Got it. Well, the I think for me, like, the basic philosophy in this is that I want to try still to kind of tap into some of the mentality that I have from earlier playthroughs, whereas what I want to do is
Chill runs up your spine. You feel like
what
you're
is this?
being watched.
No. I think the whole discussion about which is the harder challenge is probably one of the more, I'm assuming, a little bit more tainted discussions, because I think people have different conceptions of what's difficult and what's not difficult. I think the most important takeaway in the whole consideration on challenge running is you're challenging yourself. So when you play a challenge run, something that's challenging to you, in my opinion, then you're challenging yourself, and then it's a challenge run in principle. So anything that is something that you consider to be either impossible or hard or something else, that's a challenge, in my opinion. Yeah. What I'm aiming for with my playthroughs, not this one in particular, but in general, is to play the game in such a way that anybody who allow for more things that I do in their playthroughs, they can just take what I'm doing, for instance, and just put and add things to it. Like, for instance, I don't drink potions normally, healing potions. So if you do that, then you just, you can kind of look at what I'm doing, and then you can just drink the potions and add other things onto that to get to your desired challenge. Because it will still be challenging. There are many situations in this game where you're going to be facing something which is killing you. And I think I died, and this is not something I'm proud of, but I died at least 100 times, if not 150 times, to all kinds of stuff. In the early game, in the mid game, and in the late game. So if you play the game normally, if that's already challenging for you, then I think just do that to start, and then, if you still like the game, carry on and attempt some of the other stuff later. Yeah, so probably just going to the Riverside Tea House and aggroing Lady Ethel is just the way to go to just get that extra XP.
You'd best have one hell's. But a god's.
What is it?
It must be. What do you say? Well, that is my price. Nothing more.
I just want to check her stock. Basically, the elixirs is the only thing that's the. Of course, the invisibility potions do things. Coralon's Grace could be potentially interesting if you were playing the monk. I guess. I don't know the unarmed damage, if that also goes for the shape-shifting. If that's the case, I don't know. I don't think the shape-shifts count as unarmed damage and attack rolls, but I don't know. Maybe it is. 280 gold, that's a very steep price anyway.
I'm afraid that a touch, but sure you've two eyes that. And you.
Just want to check, because I normally never look for this stuff. Is there any potions or anything that's... Yeah, okay, greater healing potion here, but that's not that interesting. I mean, you could go and... For instance, I guess I could take this and then throw. And then suddenly we have a healing potion on the ground. The mindset of this stuff is so different from what I'm used to. Okay. Let's see if we can find her hidden staircase. What the hell was that?
You blink.
And then we speed up the process very quickly. Oh. And I can move. Great. Okie dokie. So halfway to Halfway to 4. All right. So at this point, how do you, and this, and critique, I mean, I don't know if I could, probably I could kind of figure this out on my own. Like, I would assume that if I go into the well here,
Growth of moss, the well looks unremarkable. Dry stones. The well stands as it has for ages.
okay, I cannot enter the well now because I didn't figure out that it's a place to go. Just quickly check this. I can still enter the spider cavern through the blacksmith. And then I wonder, does this actually set off the explosives? It does. But I can read the blueprints. Right, and so if I want a chance at going into the spider cavern at this point, I need to make sure that I actually spot the trap in the wall here. So let's see if we can manage to see that little thing. We have high wisdom, so investigation failed. So the question is now, oh, the cracked wall is not hidden. Okay. I forget where I enter the, okay, so we enter up here. Okay, great. And there is the bucket. But if I jump down, it's death. And let's see how close we can get until we can see the friends. Oh, we can crawl down here. Perfect. Okay, so as far as I could understand from Third Monkey's way of doing this, he kind of stealthed through this place, and I know that the spiders can see you, so, but maybe I'm assuming that he just
find my step.
So if I get the feather fall, because right now I just need to go somewhere where I can get free XP, which by all accounts is straight into the Underdark. I mean, I can get XP in the Crest Side region that's should be accessible with the Spike Growth spell easily. But I prefer to go into the Underdark. Let me just check one thing here. Okay, so I can actually use my Misty Step to get down here. But what happens is that the spider, which is just right here, is going to be in my face, and even with full HP, potentially, I'm guessing that could kill me. Unless, of course, I can go and then quickly jump down, which maybe that's possible. I mean, I could be in. No, I cannot be in shapeshift because I'm casting my Misty Step. But I know that some people, and I didn't look this up because I've never had the need to, but some people are actually still going through the whole spider ordeal in some one way or the other, and then jumping down through this hole. I think I want to try with the scroll. Let's do this.
Seems simple enough. Bet that'll fill my pack.
Okay then. Is there anything I want to do beforehand? So this is 10 turns. Everything else is 10 turns. So from an action economy standpoint, I should probably buff everything, also mirror images. I have no idea if this is going to work, but I'm looking forward to seeing if it's the case. Okay, let's see. All right, so now I have my Misty Step and I have my mirror images, and then we're going to, and I have my Feather Falls. We're going to dash. Hope 9 turns is enough. Oh, I forgot my jump. Stupid me. Oh, this works. Perfect. So we go up. I've never tried this stuff before, so I really hope that it works. that was my bonus action, so now I don't have another action. And I'm not going to use any other actions that will cost me spell points, so probably I can't do anything else in this turn, so ending. And the only thing that I need is I need enough time to make the jump into the Underdark in the middle there. Aggroing the spiders is not a problem. Also, I'm pretty certain, if I remember correctly, that I don't care about getting into combat. So let's go. Ooh. Okay, this was even better than I first anticipated. So let's see. Let's just end the turn here. That the spiders are going to move. Oh, I don't mind one bit. And then we're jumping into the... There we go. Success. So I don't know, probably this was an overspending of resources, because I both misstepped and used my mirror images, but I didn't want to take a chance because I didn't know if I would going to get into combat, and if I got into combat I would prefer to just not die from that first turn of poison attacks from the spiders. So oh, and this is a pretty bad place to spawn. Holy shit. Okay, I'm really happy that we're in turn-based mode. So I'm going to crouch, and then we still have enough turns to make the last bit of the journey. I'm not going to go towards the sword just yet. I think I want some kind of... Because I can go and get the Falar Louvre as long as I... Pretty crazy that the spell from the alchemist lab takes you all the way down here like this. That's pretty crazy what 10 turns can do for you.
The parasite, it's then the Pacific.
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
And I actually do have, no, I don't have, I do have an antidote potion. Where in the world did I get the antidote potion? I really hope that I didn't accidentally pick it up in the early game. I'm very confused as to why I have this. Yeah, I shouldn't have one, right? Yeah, there we go. Shouldn't have one. Which is important, because it means I'm not going to go and talk to the gnome before I have some kind of access to an antidote. So I don't unintentionally start the countdown for the the problems. I have no idea why I had that. Maybe it was something like an old habit that I picked it up in the beginning before going online with this. Lots of nice things on their shelves, but none of them probably usable. Spike bulb. Meticulous notes. Can I read these? Oh yeah. Okay.
So seems.
And I just need to look at the items to see if there are some of the items here that I actually want and or need, because I don't know. Probably even purchasing smoke powder bombs is potentially a thing. Yeah, and I need to go and talk to Spore before I can activate activate Glut. And I do want to activate Glut because I can use him for all of the free XP down here. So I cannot pick up the saucer blooms either. Right. And I cannot... Oh, but can I move? Can I move things around? Can I go to, for instance, to... I should be able to go and move Balin's bag to Balin. So I can still give him that bag and get the scroll of invisibility or whatever it is. Okay. Got it. Question is though, because right now let's just quickly see what jump will do for me here. I think I can do this, honestly. Oh, I cannot turn off the... Can I attack it? Okay, doesn't change. Okay. That was a little bit too close for comfort. I dislike this. Oh, that wasn't my intention. Stop. Invisibility. So probably that has some kind of value that I am not aware of, but we'll see what happens. Okie dokie. So far, so good. And I'm still very confident that that spike growth could have gotten me much quicker to a good place at this point. But I'm still a little bit locked into my old habits in terms of how I get to that level 5. And how I manage the inspiration points and so forth. And I'm not quite there yet. Right. So I cannot go and talk to this guy, and I don't have the brand. So none of these things are possible, really possible for me at this point. I'm not going to go in and roll blind with 0 charisma at least. So I'm not going to take any chances on the... So, but I guess I can actually access these guys, right? So that means I can actually talk to the... In principle, this is a semi... Is this considered looting? Activating things? If so, I can just drop them on the ground. Because the problem is, if you allow even if it's not a lot of money, if you do partial rests, and these will respawn if I remember correctly once you do a partial or a full rest, and then if that happens, you can go and reloot them. And let's see what they're worth. 2 gold. Okay, this is hardly going to make or break anything. Okay, Scroll of Shadow, Scrolls of Tasha's Hideous Laughter, and the rest is not something I can loot anyway. I'm pretty certain that they do, but you know, we'll find out. Let's find out right away. I need to do I'll do a partial rest. So we'll just look at the mechanics for that. Yeah, because then we can trigger some of this stuff here.
Your minds intertwine. You sense a touch.
Funny
of
thing is,
uncertainty, a touch of disgust.
I don't think that I ever
The great warrior lays
have Lae'zel around for this.
I came just in
Yeah,
time.
there we go.
Yeah? And I'm here. Don't worry. You will not be... Wait, there is... I will keep it. A fight. Wait.
Oh, yeah, free rest. Okay, yeah. So I don't know if this doesn't matter, but let's just progress the stuff. Blah 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 blah, and then we leave. Oh wait, yeah, then we leave. They're all naked. Fantastic. It's a nude camp. Camp for nudists. Oh, you're right. They don't. They do not. You are correct.
You can absorb.
See, this is the biggest problem with patch 7 for me right now, is that because the early game is such an important thing, and the second that you allow for illicit tadpoles, you have to realize that patch 7 came with a bug, and I don't know how much this really influences what's going on. Right now, I should only have 2 tadpoles. I should have it, unless, of course, Larian intended for the dream visitor to give you tadpoles during the dream sequence just before. And currently I have 3 plus 1. So like, let's click this. Oh, this is this a bug? Let's try to bug this out because we can. Yeah, there we go. I just intentionally glitched out an extra tadpole. So now I have 4 tadpole powers available. And since I only technically have 2 tadpoles, I'm only going to use 2 of them and just try to remember that I have 2 in waiting. Because it does matter a whole lot. The tadpoles in the early game is incredibly important if you use them anyway. Call of the week. Or maybe a favorable beginnings for the ability check, because the call of the week is only going to be 1 point of damage in this point, so this is not important. I prefer this actually, and I'll just go for this, whatever. Okie dokie. Super bugged. Like I've no idea how bugged it is, but what I saw was that if you avoid the long rest for long enough, what you can do is you can take the tadpoles into a container, and then once you do the dream sequence where you get access to using tadpoles, then all of the tadpoles inside of the container are going to be on top of on something else. And I don't know what that number is, if it's like an abstract number, if it's just double amount of tadpoles, I don't know. But like effectively you get maxed out tadpole wise very, very early from patch 7. And I have no idea how this bug came about. Or if it is a bug, if it's intentional. I have no idea if it's intentional, if it's a bug or whatever. It seems like a bug. It hasn't been there before though. But so, if I cannot get access to... if I cannot loot saucer blooms, I cannot get the tower running either. But there's some kind of workaround for that, if I remember correctly. But then again, I don't know if I need to go into the basement. But I think I do want all of the XP connected to the tower stuff. And I don't think I want to go and roll the dice with Boal just yet. So I'm just going to go in here and check what's going on here. And then I need to think about where technically that I get the that I get access to the where I get access to an antidote potion. Maybe I don't need to get access to an antidote potion. Maybe I just need to use the lesser restoration. Like a goddamn idiot, I forgot that I had that spell. Question is, what can I technically do in the tower? Oh, I can go down there and then I can access the tower and I can read books. I don't know if there are any spell scrolls. I cannot go through the libraries. I cannot go through the various shelves. So what do I technically get access to in the tower? And then even if I can go downstairs, maybe there are a couple of spell scrolls I can cast, but what good is that going to do me? I don't think there's anything in the tower of value. Maybe there's like an elixir. But since I don't have... There is the boots, but I can't get the boots because that's a lootable item. I think this is a waste of time. Let me just leave this place. And then maybe... I don't know. Of course, a little bit of XP, but like let's go back and heal the gnome. I totally forgot about the gnome, and I no critique that you probably were wondering why I didn't just use the restoration. There we go. Lesser restoration. And I forget if you get a quest for talking to her first. Let's see what happens here.
Most like
Dwagor slashed me.
like so deadly if left untreated.
Myconids. Oh, took pity on me. Sound lad.
Let's get her up.
Eva, I'm fine, but Carl's got. I got away, but not the others. But our work pays well.
And here are the boots. Fabulous. Right. So I don't know if I can use the boots in the animal shapeshift form, but yeah. And of course, Sovereign Spore. I think that's like 20 XP, right?
Have the
I sense your result.
deep.
The Dwarga
The sovereign says, and it.
accept you do the search. The dead make a fight. What more would you?
And of course, the spore grenades. I think. Oh, doesn't use camp chest at all. He adds that. I wonder how big of a difference that's going to make. I think I'm going to add that later if for some weird reason it's going to make a difference. Because right now the major difference that it makes is that depending on how much stuff you can carry around, you need to you don't need to use you don't need to vendor your stuff in the early game. I mean, I could just go quickly actually just to check out how big of a difference that even makes. I don't need to speculate. And of course, I'm not taking any of the stuff that was already in the bag. I'm just going to leave that there. But I'm going to put all of the stuff back in my inventory. Okay. Yeah, at 8 strength, I see that makes a difference. So for me... Okay, you know, I'm going to carry the stuff around. It's my major issue is that it's not that I have ADHD or something, or probably I do, but all of the stuff like inside of my inventory like this is giving me tics. So it's not I want to play it as cleanly as possible, but like this is already making me uncomfortable. Anyways, let's carry on. Let's see. Removing this and going for... And I'm assuming actually that with Glut, I'm going to be using him to tear through the Underdark. I don't care. Hello, sir. And then we're just going to talk to Dareth.
Please. But losing his mind was collecting noble stuff. Nearly nothing it can't cure. I know him better.
Okie dokie. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I'm putting my own spin on it, yeah, and I'm looking at the stuff that, and also like if you have anything that you prefer, I'm happy to hear, because like I have no idea how to do this in the best possible way, and I do agree that the whole bit about the strength is of course a great point, that you have to prioritize the stats that you are wearing, like using. I don't like the respecking, personally, so probably I'm going to leave that bit out. But I think I need at this point to go. Let's see. I could. So if I go, let's see. If I go and I grab myself just So if I bring in this Duergar, which was already a bit of a stretch, does the Duergar crouch? The Duergar does crouch. Okay, because then I can head back and fight the Minotaur.
Moving in. Time to press ahead.
And get the Minotaur on the team, and then with the Minotaur I could probably go and push a couple of encounters. And at the very least, of course, potentially deal with Boal, which is the most important thing, I think. Alright, so let's just let the Minotaur here go ahead. What the hell? There we go. Right, 22 HP. Okay, let's give it a. I'm not inside in the combat here just yet. Question is if I already fucked up. Don't think that I did. We'll send forward our guy. I wonder if the defensive mechanisms actually see this guy. Okay, so this looks like a good place to go for that kill. I'm just gonna throw a spell. There we go. Okay.
Another step forward.
Right. And the problem is I can't even leave Glot out here. He wants to come. He's like the person you don't want to invite him to the guest, but you have to. And then he... He's on his way back. Like I told him to stay there.
What now? Softer than a whisper. Let's be on my way. Breathe deep.
Well met.
Come.
There. Middle of... It's
Oh,
right.
did I fail? Oh, I didn't fail. There we go.
Am I I could fix... Hope.
All right.
I'll give it a shot.
Oh. How in the world? Okay, so he
Not on my mind.
he
And
he defied all the odds and he went here following me.
not over. Been through. I have something to ask. Can't risk being in open view. Moving ahead.
Did I destroy the body? I didn't. Okay. Phew.
Never a dull moment. Time to press ahead.
Okay. Okay, so the experience from this book doesn't come if you go to the outpost beforehand. That's annoying. And there isn't any way of... Somebody talked about using fairy fire for this, or am I mistaken? I'm going to just try that out because I heard somebody do it. Nope. Not the case. But I think I can shapeshift downstairs into a cat and still get up there. Not quite sure if it provides any value, but I'll just check it out nonetheless. Okay. No, not very valuable. Why did I expect to come somewhere else? I expected to go somewhere else. Oh, it's because the crevice that takes me into the Sentherim room is already from after Priestess God's room. Oh, that's so stupid. Hello, Marrow House, and welcome in. By the way, I think you signed onto the channel or something, Marrow House, 11 days ago, but I didn't actually get to say hi. So, but hello. No, this is a bit of an odd challenge because this is right now I'm currently only level 3. The challenge here that I'm currently running, this is something else entirely. Right now the no consumable stuff is temporarily parked on YouTube where I have the full will run available. But what I'm probably going to be trying out a little bit during the Twitch streaming is a rule set where the idea is that I don't loot anything. So no looting, and so the idea is that the challenge in this particular situation is going to be I have no resources. The only thing that I have like unlimited of in principle is partial rests, so that I can always go to camp and partial rest and get back half of my available spell slots, and I don't know, I guess some of my wild shape charges. I'm not quite sure in terms of natural recovery and wild shape charges. I'm assuming it's half of each, but we'll have to see once I try it out. So and this is not something I've discovered or figured out. This is something that probably somebody random person on Reddit found out this would be a fun thing or whatever. But I'm following right now. I'm following Third Monkey, who's also a streamer on Twitch. I'm following his basic rule set, and that is not allowing for any looting outside of transferring equipment from companions, which I'm already practically done with. And then so I can use whatever I find. I can purchase whatever I find, but I don't find a lot of stuff. So right now I have 0 gold pieces, for instance. So that's the challenge, and I think it's pretty difficult already. I feel like this is going to be very hard, but we'll have to see. And so all of these things, I can't loot them, I can't sell them. I don't have any resources. And where is the skeleton that we need to find? No. Where is Mr. Skeleton? Is this the guy? There he is. But I don't know, selenite key. Doesn't matter because then I can go in and I can, you know, I cannot loot anything in there anyway. So no, nopes. And the Falar Louvre. Wouldn't you anybody who has any experience with who has any thoughts on this particular challenge? Welcome to chime in. I feel like going for the Falar Louvre now and attempting this is potentially a little bit dangerous. If I go and I get Glut, for instance, or the Minotaur, something. Glut is probably a better choice here. If I get them to attack me while I'm positioned on top of the Falar Louvre, if I can get them to bleed me, but I don't know if a non-slashing weapon or non-piercing attack is going to make me bleed. And also I don't know if I can actually even use a longsword, and probably it's going to be relatively worthless to me. I do want the item at some point, I just don't know if it's that important to spend time on now. So if I go and I collect Glut and the Minotaur, I could go to the Kutoa, and then I could attempt the rolls down there. I know that one of the rolls that I need to pass is a nature check. But odds are that I'm going to be fighting all of them. And the Minotaur is very strong, and probably the Minotaur is going to be able to fix things. All right, I did do my rest, so I think I'm going to go and attempt the 5% roll in the Goblin camp. That's probably the wisest. Go in, do the 5% roll, and then if the run ends here, I'm going to be probably a little bit sad, but it has happened to me before, I have to be honest. No inspiration points, so
Bugger off, didn't I?
There we go. Okay, thank you.
Oh, beg your pardon. Like priestess.
Okay, there we go. just checking the vendor just to see if there's something that
At the jingle of coin already, you recognize the crest she bears.
anything I absolutely need to have for the druid, which probably there's not. A gold worming staff is not bad, but I am not going to be using it much, I think. And I think the evocation cantrip also triggers intelligence attack rolls, which is horrible. So, no, nothing of particular importance to my knowledge.
Pleasure.
Right here. And I love the fact that this challenge actually puts stuff like spell scrolls, like if you purchase a spell scroll, that's a big deal. So, for instance, like a lightning bolt scroll, say, is potentially valuable. I mean, the druid actually gets the lightning spell, if I remember correctly, or I get access to it because of my subclass feature. So that's maybe not the most important thing here, but some of the other stuff is pretty interesting. I mean, you need to ask yourself: Do I want to purchase a scroll, or do I want to purchase an item? And sometimes it's not that easy to kind of make that call. And I'm just destroying the drums here. Okay, God. Give me the brand, please.
You ready?
As the vision dissolve.
Maybe I could help.
Yes. And I'm not going to go to your private room just yet, my friend, because I think you're not going to like my racial background. Okay. And I did pick the background for the character a little bit on a whim because I like the Guild Artisan in general. I think it's a very bad background for this challenge. But nonetheless, here I am. Rescue Volo. Do we want to do that? Let me just see. So Tracker, Tosa likes to go in there. Gribbo and Tosa together. That's one spike growth and it's over. But I forget if they like to... Yeah, fuck this. I'm just gonna go in there.
Don't go both with what's it too.
The mark glows, but you feel nothing in response. Your illithid power is beyond reach until you rest.
Okay, success. Happy day.
I guarantee the story of... We mustn't.
Right. So the one thing that I was considering actually was... if I decide to go with a Volo ring, which I've been thinking about, with one of the very, very strong... Okay, see, this is a problem. This is something I should have considered. I don't know how this is going to end. If I'm even able to give him the items he wants. So probably bringing him into the camp was the wrong call. Oh, shit. Oh, well. But let's just get back on track here. If I talk to Volo and I consider if getting the Whispering Promise is a strong strategy, the reason why... And I need to check something real quick. I think I made a major mistake here. A major mistake, that's maybe a bit harsh. But all of the many good berries that I had a moment ago, I lost those. What I did was they disappear after the long rest. But so what I did was the plan was to, because you get a lot of them for free on the Nautiloid if you just produce as many good berries as you can. and then you click a new illicit regeneration pot or whatever that is, and you get the spell slots back, and you can channel new good berries. So I had like 40 good berries, and I mean, you know, all things being equal, it's still free healing, and coupled with, for instance, the Volo ring, that's just crazy good. I think I can even throw them at friends and allies, and they will get like the bless spell, which is pretty good. So I was considering if good berries plus the Volo ring was something that I wanted to do, and also maybe just for myself. There could be situations. I do have the resistance spell, so that's basically the same thing. But like, I don't know. Right now, I think I don't want the ring, but also I don't want to scare him away, so I can just ignore him for now. I'm guessing. All right. So now I can actually get into the chamber also from the back door, because I can head into Priestess God's room, and I know there was some kind of new abuse or something. Hello, Chronatic. Console gamers, stupid stuff. Domino effect explosion. What you mean is putting barrels like in a domino line and they just trigger each other like that? I thought that was always possible. Is that like a console thingy? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I watched a bit of Morgana, I think. I forget her name, but one of the YouTube streamers who do a lot of stuff like that. Okay, so if I go down here, I can get I can get into the room. But what do I even want to do inside of Priestess God's room? There is nothing in there, is there? I don't think there's anything in there. Yeah, the Githyanki area. Yeah, those Githyankis are really pesky. I hate those. Like, don't know how many runs I lost to those guys. Anyway, so if I go in here and I jump down here and I get into the Priestess God room without any combat, there is no real reason to do that currently. And I don't want to be picking any fights in the Goblin camp before I'm ready to clear it, which is not quite yet. Just going to let Smithen die. So like an add-on that gives you level 20. Okay, let's just say that I have what I need from the first bit here, and I'm not gonna trigger any of the other things. I'm not gonna do any goblin fights at the moment, because from experience it can go wrong, and I'm not intending on stopping the run just yet. Okie dokie. Right, so we got the brand. So now I'm going to head back into the Underdark, I think. 1 second, quick phone call. 1 moment. Okay, I'm back. Let's just quickly pick up. I don't have a lot of time left, unfortunately. Family life just comes rushing in. I do want to see if I can continue just streaming a little bit next week at least, or maybe even a bit on Friday tomorrow. I'll have to see. Let's go and pick up Sovereign Gluts. And so I'm assuming that with the new friend, we can now do something. Or do I want to go straight across? No, wait. You know, I'm just going to go straight across the river first.
His fist grips an axe.
And with the brand, he's happy. And we talk about the boots. We got the boots. And then we go across. And so there's a bunch of free experience from just going across with the boat. And then we can do the encounter with the Dwegar. So one thing that's actually maybe not completely irrelevant with this challenge is that because from my general understanding, like, you're going to be lacking some things in this. You're going to be lacking, probably, at least in the early game, access to some items that you would normally have otherwise. And so for that reason, I'm just assuming at all points in time, when there's some experience to be had, you want to get that experience.
Your twat's old chum owes us a load of coins.
I'm not giving you a single coin. Don't have anything. Have no money. But you want to kill as many NPCs as humanly possible. And I still have zero inspiration points. So I'm still super curious as to how I'm going to make this work. So what do I want here? Thorn Whip, no. Poison Spray, no. Produce Flame, I think. Any fire spell? I don't know about this yet. The feats. So is this like a tavern brawler situation? It's a question, because with the tavern brawler, I don't know if the modifier from strength, if that's fixed. So if, let's say that I go into the owlbear shape, and I believe that the owlbear shape has a 20 strength. If that means that the 20 strength from the owlbear is going to give me a +5 × 2 in the owlbear shape form, I think Tavern Brawler is the best feat possible for this challenge. And so many of these feats are never going to apply to me at all. Most of these feats are completely worthless. I could consider increasing my wisdom by 2 points, but I don't think that's going to make or break anything, because I'm not dependent, if I remember correctly, on the wisdom. So I think pretty much I'm at liberty to choose whatever I want. Maybe even an ability improvement in, say, dexterity, for instance, could be beneficial. Any kind of stat increase, I think, could be valuable to me. But I am probably going to go with Tavern Brawler for this. And so that's going to give me an uneven constitution number, but I guess I could change that up by adding the Hag's Hair to constitution or something. We'll have to see. This is all experimental. Right, so I'm going to go and take my chances with the Dwegar now. Probably I will ally with the Dwegar here, and then maybe betray them later. We'll have to see.
True soul, no less. I ain't should split your head up. The stench don't lie. You're one of them.
Okay, success.
In that case, whatever the spoils, good.
And he's actually giving
You
me
still
money.
standing about? Now,
This is maybe the most important quest right now out of all of the quests here. When I think about it. Okay. Let's see if this is really like a game changer. Too heavy to throw. Too heavy to throw. Okay, so how do I deal with that? Can I shove it? Shove it.
Better be cautious. Just our view. Don't want to draw any attention. How much farther can I go? That's a friendly looking shadow. Out of sight, out of mind.
This was never one of my favorite parts of the game, and it definitely hasn't improved with the lack of strength. So is this going to be okay?
One day I'll catch a break.
Bad idea.
If everyone else finds their
Oh shit. Okay. So how do I'm going to go into combat with Mirthis in a moment. I don't see how I can avoid this, to be honest. So that's just part of it's all in the game. I don't think anything else is going to go for me. So I do need to take, without enough strength, I do need to go somewhere else with the eye to deal with it. How do I leave combat? I mean, I have my scroll of invisibility here, and I don't know where I would need that otherwise currently. So probably this is just the time where I use this just to progress. This is not going to be a situation where I kill the nether brain in one go anyway. So I'm just going to not spend too much time with this.
Can't risk being in open view. These boots have seen everything.
If you Marrow House, if you're a little bit unsure whether or not a challenge that you are considering doing is, or if you haven't played honor mode yet, I would suggest that you just hop into it. And with like a four player party or 4 character party, you just need to have like a semi working combination of characters. And so anything's like, obviously anything's like chasms or anything else that induces insta killing obviously are very, very, very dangerous, because if you die with a solo character, you die. If you lose a character in an honor mode setup with a good party, you should be fine generally, as you can just resurrect people. But obviously in solo, I think anybody who tried solo, any kind of solo honor mode challenge, has tried at least once to be shoved into a chasm and instant die. And even like a very, very early, like this happened to me, not long ago. Let me just see if I can even figure out the map right now. So in the arena where you fight near, I can't go to it right now, but you probably know it very well. In the arena where you fight near and you fight the Dweghart in the brawl there, the fight there in the middle. So Thrym, who is the sergeant, she has the ring that has the thunder wave. And so the thunder wave supposedly is knocking stuff back. It says, I think it's 6 meters or something is the pushback. It's not like a gazillion meters. But I experienced her before I even had a turn, that she used the thunder wave on me and threw me straight into the chasm, and it felt like more than 6 meters. So anywhere where you know this, that you're fighting something that has either push potential or some kind of knockback potential, is just a point where you put your back to the wall, no matter the difficulty. But in my opinion, if you are playing a 4-player party, I think you should be okay. But if you're going into solo, yeah, obviously it's horribly crazy. Any kind of insta kill mechanic is like no fun. And most often, anybody, if you watch any kind of challenge runner, the insta kill mechanics is what gets people. Because if you're not instantaneously killed, practically all other times you can heal or something else, and then you can basically fix any of the problems there. So only 10 experience points for. I think that's because it was in turn-based mode. Oh, you're on your first playthrough and you're watching this stream. You should be watching somebody else. I mean, obviously you're very welcome, but like what I'm doing is like not in any way telling for the game in any way. Yeah, I think it's a concept that people it's derived from Divinity, I think, where in Divinity Original Sin, the last Larian Studios release, I think that the solo experience was made into something called Lone Wolf, which gave you extra buffs, but you were doing it on your own without any companions. And I think it originated there. But then, since Baldur's Gate is such an easy game, this is a very easy game in comparison, in my opinion. In my honest, humble opinion, this is a lot easier than the other Larian game. Like Tactician in Divinity is crazy. Bow of the Banshee, that could also be fun. But like, I don't want, like, personally I would say don't spoil your experience with the game. Like, if it's your first run by watching somebody stream it, because like this is to me at least, one of the best games that I've ever played, and I wouldn't want this spoiled by anyone. So, okay, fair enough. So, are you still listening in? Because I'm wondering if Third Monkey is looting the splint molds. Okay. One of the best places in the game, probably Marrow House, is where you're currently getting to. So I'm a little bit envious of you. Like in principle, I cannot loot any of the molds, so that's going to exclude the adamantine armor for me. That sucks. And any of the stuff here is excluded.
Cursed to put my hands on everything.
And all of this, like all of this are containers. I understand why Third Monkey doesn't want to cast scrolls from containers, because it does include a bit of random scrolls that increases the randomness of the game, which is always something that we don't like. But that does mean that I cannot create anything at the forge. God damn it. Okay, let me just see what I can still do without setting off a million different things that's going to destroy the run. Let's just quickly see. So the spiders down here without the speak with animals. I think I'm going to add the speak with animals and then head in there. I think I can do that. I think that's a very, very possible check for me.
What care we for his business here? But it goes
Spiders for the Spider Queen. And then we need to do a check. So persuasion, DC 10. Guidance. Natural 1 here. Interesting.
No, never. We owe
But the Spider Queen?
Oh, great, traitorous, undeserved.
And it's instant death, and I lost the XP. Ooh, will. These spiders are still here. Probably I can kill them alongside with Mermouth, I guess, at some point. Maybe. Or maybe they will despawn. and I can't even loot these things, so that actually means, since this is actually not a quest item, this means that I need the explosive from Philomene in order to be able to get near out of the rubble. Jesus Christ. That sucks. So, but I wonder for third monkey if, because then I feel a little bit like stuff like cheesing, for instance, the mimics would be okay. Because then at this point you're already restricting yourself so much. But I think I'll need to have to think about this once I set up for the next time I want to stream. All right, so guys, thank you for sticking around. Whoever is still currently in the channel. Let me just quickly see, just for old time's sake. I want to send people potentially you don't know this guy, but I'm going to send you straight in here because he's a great guy. And even if you do know him, you know, it's a good place to hang out. So Black is myself sending in for a raid, and then I'll be back online potentially soonish, but we'll see.